appeared as yet, so whatever the problem is, here it comes in the pits now. So whatever that drama was, he's brought it into pit lane, and they'll have to attend to whatever. It wasn't a meatball flag, it was just a black flag, so I'm not sure what that is for. And Harrison's, what I mentioned earlier, doubling up this weekend. They're racing in Group N historic touring cars as well as the HQ Holden. So he's just he's putting the car away down the end of the pit lane and turns left into the back area of the pit. So unfortunately, one of the HQs out of commission is Beck. In the meantime, he's showing why he carries the number 1 on his car. He's moved quite away from the rest of the field, and certainly Sean Boland's in a similar position too, but certainly on for third at the moment with currently Luke Harrison ahead of Parker and probably but remember that Parker will fall out of that little battle at the end, so while at the moment will be entertained, unfortunately for him, but after the race they're taken off him. Unless of course he does something side draft. The speeds again. Attempts to go with him, no. As it turns out, I think Harrison's kept on. No, probably has got a better run up the hill, takes that position. Actually, Parker will go ahead of him as well. In the meantime, it's still Deering well out in front as he comes down to turn 8. Three that were battling for third and reeled in on Boland. I think Boland may have a problem. Probably might have one too. He went really wide in turn 8. Does he drop the spot or does he hold on? He manages to just hold on. That outside line is the faster way through the corner. Even made a slight miscue on it as well. And holds that position through to turn 9, 10, 11, and while Deering is just driving away, disappearing into the distance, you might say. Well, now Boland under all sorts of pressure. I suspect that Boland may have an issue. He's trying to cover it at the moment, but probably is going to try and get in. At this stage, I dare say it won't be long at this rate that they're going to get through. Meantime, Harbour holds down 6 spot. Oldham was going slow anyway, or slower than he had been in the opening stages, and I think he may have damage as a result. In the meantime, it's Deering still leading the way, coming up towards half distance in this one, and it'll be Parker in second, but with a 5-second penalty hanging over his head, and Harrison should be the next one through. He's not coming up on our timing. Broglio in fourth, Harbour in fifth, Healy up to sixth, and closing on Bolt, so he'll get that chance. So Bolt's still ahead of him, but I don't know if he's going to last at this stage. Down the straight they come, Glenn Deering halfway through this race, and it's Deering first, no less. 7.5 seconds basically back to this group, and they've probably truncated this deal because of the incident over the top of the tunnel. So it's Parker across the line now.
We have production to recast to another group, please. Production to recast to another group, please.
Goes through and the next one. And we've got another long break to Lynch, Stewart and Parker, who make up our top 10 now. So someone's dropped back there. As they come down to the start finish line. Now 19.8 seconds. It's then only 7 seconds between second and third, and I think Harrison's got ahead of Parker, so it's been a change of position there, and it certainly has. So run up to turn 6, so change position in for second and third, and as long as Proglio stays within 5 seconds, he isn't. Maybe 5.2 seconds from Parker. So Steve Parker would hold position. We've got Jack Harrison back out on track. Well, still showing him being in the pits, but he's back out there, so he's under pits, went around the back, corrected what he had to, and has rejoined. It's interesting. Obviously, get some miles under the belt because they have another race later this afternoon, so it's handy to know what the track situation is like, condition-wise. A lot of cars appearing to going a lot slower than normal. We're just seeing some of the, is that Peter Lynch? Seems to be going very slow. And the cars behind him aren't going any quicker at this stage. What's Deering though? He's going for Parker in second. That gap's even gone further, probably out in third. He's getting Parker down to 6 seconds. I reckon about top second, 7. And we've got this group that don't seem to be going all that fast. And it's being led at this stage by Peter Lynch. And he's showing the way to Cameron Stewart. And then it's Aston Parker into 10th. Allen back to 11th. So he's had he moves up to 10th. And then back behind them would be Jason Johnson, Gordon McCleary, by the number 91, that's Glenn Robertson, and Wayne Harrison, Jack Harrison. It's Harrison just turned this into a one-way traffic, really.
Just having a look at his lap times, Gary, and his best lap, 2 minutes 19.5. That's 5 seconds quicker than what anybody else has achieved. So
But the interesting part about that was they were fighting it out earlier. Once he's got in front, he's just driven away from it. A faster lap there, but so he's back again. So we've still got Parker in second, who will hold that spot. Well, look at it now, probably in third. But you can see why Glenn Deering is carrying the number 1 plate at the moment. He's just acres ahead of these guys in this particular race, but the conditions have probably suited him a bit better. He might prefer driving in the wet. It's hard to say.
it's one of the things that we've seen so far today, Gary, is with those wet conditions, they really elongate the margins between a lot of cars. Sometimes we see the margins are quite huge.
Yeah, it could be having a bit to do with this setup, but they used to say with supercars, that the only change you make is soften the cars for the wet conditions. Soften, I mean, one of the Harrisons has gone around at turn 8, and he does a full 360 and pulls first gear and away goes.
That was Luke Harrison.
But he was running in 4 spot, and I think he still holds 4 spot because there's no one even close to him. Now, his times aren't showing up properly, if that's true, because they're showing him as 4th, but he's actually ahead of Parker and Problia, so there's 3 Harrisons out there, so starts his last lap, and that lead is 34.9 seconds. He can lap this whole and here comes our second place, which is Luke Harrison. So he is in second, even though it's showing no, it wasn't Luke at all, it was Wayne Harrison.
Oh, sorry, yes, it was. Cut 37.
Yeah, he's the father up until the sons. Well, it was 6.9 a lap ago, so it's actually come down. So there's no radios in HQ. So whether he's somehow found out that if he gets another 2/10 on Parker, he'll pick up second spot. Be interested to see if it turns out that way, because you can't overdrive in these conditions, or you'll do what Wayne Harrison did and just lose it. And even watching Wayne Harrison through turn 4, he's taking it very subtle to go around again as Glenn Deering comes out of turn 8. At this stage, he's certainly done it with ease after the initial early battles with Probio and Parker and Harrison, but certainly driven away. You can see that turn 8, they're taking their time going through that corner. They don't want to be caught out, and imagine be the same situation over at turn 2. So those type of corners, you don't want to be in any sort of trouble. But in the meantime, coming down to take the checkered flag for race 1 and 4 this weekend, it's Glenn Deering, and currently Sunwell State champion. And we can see why. Big winner in the first of 4 races this weekend. Parker will. It's interesting whether Parker can have a second, so we'll get him at the second marker, and it was 5.555 seconds the difference. So he's actually pulled 3/10 so far on this lap. Can he hold it to the end?
The problem that he's got is he has been held up by collapsed traffic, Gary, on this final lap, so it'll be interesting to see if the final margin is going to be enough. Here he comes down across the line, headlights blaze to...
Wasn't quite close enough to get the job done. Got a confrontation there